I'm Nancy Lyons.
And I'm Megan Wilker.
And we're the Geek Girls. You can find us at geekgirlsguide.com.
And today we talked about social media, sort of an introduction to social media.
We really try to get people to think differently about social media. So right now it's sort of overhyped and it's the topic du jour, but there is a way to sort of approach it strategically and think about it organizationally. And we either see people that really want to embrace it but they're not sure why, or people that really want to resist it, and they can come up with a zillion reasons for resisting it and none of them make a ton of sense. And so we just try to join those two conversations and not necessarily sell social media, but just get people thinking about it in a strategic way that could perhaps advance their message and engage their customers.
So it's sort of about an overview of what do people mean when they talk about social media, and how can individuals and companies use those technologies to achieve whatever their goals might be, and what are the different ways that they need to be thinking about social media. How does it differ from the old kind of push communication technologies? Because it is very different. It's a conversation. It's not about just marketing and talking to people. It's about conversing with your different audiences, and that's a very different way of communicating for most marketers and most organizations. They're not set up to have those two-way conversations. And so really it's about us telling people what we know about it, and also encouraging them to ask questions and have a dialogue about what are the reasons that they're resisting it, what are their fears about it, what are their concerns, what are they trying to achieve with it.
As marketers, we're used to sort of pushing a message out, and then the people that engage with customers are on the customer service side of the relationship. And now we need to think about empowering broader constituencies of people to have conversations with customers in a way that is relevant and creates action, creates activity and engagement. And that's a new way of thinking for marketers and for business. But that's what we try to center the conversation around, is just how to start thinking that way. And I think, Geek Girls Guide, we started, our mission is to create safe spaces for people to have conversations about technology, and social media is one of the conversations that people seem to want to engage in right now because it's so popular. But these are just tools, technological tools that we're using to communicate messages, and the Geek Girls Guide covers a broad spectrum of those sorts of tools and sort of web-based applications.
And I can tell you that a mistake that a lot of companies make is in putting an intern in charge of their social media, because they have this mistaken perception that because younger people have always used these technologies since they came out of the womb texting each other, that they somehow understand how to apply those technologies strategically, and the truth is that that's not the case. So I think I can tell you that the person it should not apply to in your organization is your intern, and it should be a diverse group inside the company that's responsible for how you're going to have these conversations with all your different audiences, because it's not just about marketing. It's about marketing, it's about customer service, it's about human resources. There are many different types of conversations that you need to be having with people in these spaces.
One of the other big messages that we try to impress upon our audiences is it's not instead of, it's an addition to. So a lot of the things that we've been doing in terms of marketing all along, they don't have to go away. We just have to add this additional level of engagement and then empower people to have those conversations. And I think people right now especially think the social thing is the secret sauce. It's the magic, what did you call it? Pixie dust. Yeah, it's the pixie dust that's going to solve all their problems. And we often tell people that 10 years ago, or just a few years ago, people would come into us and say, make me viral. And in our world, viral is not necessarily a good thing, especially these days, right? But they thought that viral was the secret sauce. And before that, it was just being on the web. That was where the magic happened. And I think, hopefully over time, the lesson we've learned is there is no magic, and everything requires real energy and real commitment and a real strategy, real thinking behind it. And a lot of the strategy that we ask people to think about with regard to social media is the stuff they've been thinking about all along. Who's your audience? What are they expecting of you? What kind of value are you going to bring to the conversation? And what's your commitment to the ongoing sort of management of that conversation? Those are the things that I think people don't think about when they say, let's make a Facebook page because magic happens on the Facebook. And it doesn't. So we try to really impress upon them sort of the practical thinking involved in social. You can find information about social media and all sorts of technology and get your technology questions answered at our website, which can be found at www.geekgirlsguide.com.